What is up, all of you beautiful PC gamers? My name is Joker, and today we have got a few news stories in the world of, well, PC gaming. Sorry, no tech stories today. This is going to be strictly PC focused because it is a glorious day to be a PC gamer. We have finally got the first trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC, which was released yesterday. Also, we're going to be talking about the Outer Worlds and its system requirements. And then we've also got a statement from Infinity Ward on what is going to be happening with the whole loot box / supply drop situation, where it's actually a pretty good outcome, even though it's still kind of festered in a whole bunch of lies. We're going to get fired into all of that in just a moment. But first, today's video is brought to you by PowerColor and their Red Devil RX 5700 XT graphics card. The Red Devil 5700 XT features a 10-phase VRM, which is more than the 7-phase VRM found on the reference 5700 XT, as well as most other partner cards out there. The Red Devil also offers a triple fan heatsink, which promises to not only keep your card cooler than the reference design, but also significantly quieter. For more information on where you could pick up the Red Devil 5700 XT, as well as my full review, please check out the links down in the description below. So first up, how about that Red Dead Redemption 2 PC trailer? This is officially our first look at the game running on the PC. They released a trailer yesterday running at 4K, 60 frames per second, and as you would expect, the game looks absolutely incredible. I mean, it even looked great on console hardware when it came out a year ago. Even on the base models, it looked very, very good. I played it on the PS4 Pro at 30 frames per second, and I absolutely love the game, but I have just been clamoring, waiting to play this game at 60 FPS and being able to take advantage of unlocked frame rates, higher graphics settings, all of that stuff, and you can kind of see all of that on show here in this trailer. Just the motion alone of seeing the game at 60 frames per second just drives home to me every time I see it. It's just like, yeah, 60 frames per second is so much better. The animation seems smoother. You know the game is going to feel more responsive as a result of it. One of the issues I had with that game was the aiming and how it kind of felt sluggish. With the PC, having a mouse and, basically very, very low latency and also getting a higher frame rate is definitely going to help a lot with the responsiveness in this game. And like as I said, you could just really see it in the animations, and as far as the graphics are concerned, it definitely seems to have gotten some upgrades. We already talked about that in a previous video, things that they had worked on, enhancements for the PC version, things like the texture on fur, tessellated trees, the water, a whole lot of different things that they're basically doing to improve the visuals of this game, as you would expect. Improved draw distances is another thing that they had talked about. Bringing into Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC, which is coming out November 5th. So we finally got the trailer here. We didn't get any other information along with this yet, but hopefully, as the weeks get closer and closer, I mean, we're only 2 weeks away from now, so it's not that much time left. But I would like to definitely see more information about this. Maybe they can release some other stuff as far as maybe like graphics settings. I would love to get a look at the graphics menu of this game and see what types of features are going to be in there. If it's going to have DX11, DX12. NVIDIA was pushing this over on their GeForce YouTube channel, so I don't know if it's going to have ray tracing or not. Nothing has been confirmed about that. But so far, the game looks great, and I cannot wait to play it. We'll definitely be covering it when the game comes out. On the channel, we'll be covering performance in the game, testing it across 10 different graphics cards like I like to do with any new game that comes out, varying different price points from all the way down at like $150 all the way up to cards that are $1,200. So we'll be testing all of those and everything in between, so definitely stay tuned for that content. And I'm also planning to possibly do a live stream when the game comes out, maybe as soon as the game comes out. I actually did that for GTA 5 some years ago when it came out in the PC. It was actually a drunk stream, so and people have been asking me in the comments to do that again. It was like maybe a year and a half ago where I did one of these where I played Rainbow Six Siege and took a shot every time I died. I didn't last long, the stream was over quickly. But maybe we can come up with a sort of drinking game for the Red Dead Redemption 2 launch, and we could do a live drinking stream with you guys and just interact with everyone and everything. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on doing the live stream, and also if you have any ideas for things that I could, see in the game that would cause me to have to drink, then, maybe we could do that. Maybe every time Dutch Vanderland says he has a plan, I'll be hammered in 15 minutes. I got a plan, Arthur. I got a plan. Next up, we need to talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where we have got a statement from Infinity Ward, the Call of Duty team, on what is going to be happening with the game and its economy, I guess if you want to call it that, post-launch, and what's going to be happening with that. Just to quickly recap, a few weeks ago, The Gaming Revolution, a YouTuber who was responsible for leaking pretty much everything about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, said that the game would be having pay-to-win loot boxes and supply drops at launch, where there would basically be weapons inside of loot boxes, and of course the internet was pissed about this, and it wouldn't be that hard to believe because they did it with the previous Call of Duty games. Black Ops 4, probably the worst aggressor of that, bringing in weapons into supply drops after the game was actually released. And then the Call of Duty team, when their art designer came forward and said, "Oh yeah, this is all just misinformed. They're just flame baiting and all this." And it seemed like absolute bullshit, honestly. And now in this new statement, recently they had denied having loot boxes in the works at all, although that wasn't true because there was a screenshot during the beta where you could see a placeholder for where supply drops were going to go. It literally said supply drops. So how could you say you weren't working on supply drops when we can literally see where supply drops were going to go when the game came out? It seems like this entire thing, this whole statement today, even though it's a good thing, it's a good thing because people raising a stink about it is what has gotten this to the point where it is right now, where they are pulling the loot boxes and supply drops from the game, even though they won't admit that they were there. They were totally there, and they're basically now having to change the entire thing in order to curry favor with the community. So we'll head over to the developer blog over on the Activision website. Of course, all sources will be linked down in the description below. This is a pretty long-winded thing. I'm not going to go over every single little detail about it because there's a lot of them just trying to like puff themselves up and make themselves seem like the good guy with all this free content they're going to be adding in, which is good. Free content is cool, but it's just kind of them poisoning the well before they get into the nitty-gritty of things. So they say, let's address the basics for in-game economy in Modern Warfare. They said, we are introducing a new battle pass system, not a loot box system. All functional content that has an impact on game balance, such as base weapons and attachments, can be unlocked simply by playing the game. The new battle pass system will allow players to see the content they are earning or buying. Battle passes will launch timed to new post-launch live seasons, so you can unlock cool new Modern Warfare-themed content that matches each season. They also go on to say that with the new battle pass system, players will be able to earn COD points by playing the game. Those COD points are the currency that you can literally buy with actual cash. This is the premium currency in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiverse. I don't think it's a multiverse, but let's just call it that anyway. It sounds cooler. They then say that there will be both a free stream and a premium stream. Premium, I almost said freemium, which is actually a thing. A premium stream of content in the Battle Pass system in Modern Warfare. New base weapons will be earned through gameplay, simply by playing Modern Warfare. Functional attachments for base weapons can be unlocked through gameplay as well as in the game's beta. Just like in the game's beta, I should say. And the Battle Pass and the in-game store will feature a variety of cosmetic content that does not impact the game balance. So there you have it. They're basically completely taking away supply drops, and they're going to be bringing in a Battle Pass system, which we're not 100% certain on how that is going to work yet, but everything they kind of say in here also leaves the possibility open of bringing back supply drops at some point in the future, or possibly locking weapons behind this Battle Pass system. All of those options are still there as far as I can tell. They're just doing it in a different way, and probably in a better way than supply drops, where it's just not based on RNG. But still, there's definitely going to be a huge macro transaction economy built into Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as you would expect. But I definitely view, what's happening here as a big win for, gamers and as a whole, not just PC gamers, just gamers as a whole that spoke out on this, to not have supply drops in the game, and to definitely not have actual in-game weapons and attachments and things stuck inside these RNG supply drops that you would have to buy with real-world currency. And just to drive home the fact that this was definitely not planned, is that the fact that they even say in here is that the Battle Pass will not be available at launch. It's going to be coming later this year. They say that they're hoping to have it out by later this year, and I think a lot of that is the fact that they were not ready for this. They had supply drops, loot boxes done and ready to go. That's why when they made that statement the other day saying that they're not currently working on supply drops or loot boxes of any kind, I believe them when they said that, but they chose their words very carefully, because the supply drops and loot boxes were very likely already 100% finished, and they were just working on polishing the game and getting it ready to ship, and maybe working on a day one patch at this point in time, as the game is coming out literally a week from today. It's coming out on the 25th So they don't have enough time to go ahead and rework that entire system and get the battle pass ready to go at launch, but they'll be coming afterwards in seasons, just like we see in a lot of other games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, that other really bad game that I don't play. Rainbow Six Siege does the whole season thing. Pretty much every game is doing these seasons now, which I'm not against. I think it works really well in some games, not as well in others. But yeah, we'll have to see once this game actually comes out what the macro transaction economy is like, and I'll definitely be covering it on the channel when the game does release. Now, last up, but certainly not least, we need to talk about The Outer Worlds, the new game from Obsidian. And if you are a fan of the Fallout series, then you probably played Fallout New Vegas. This is coming from the same developer that worked on New Vegas, which was probably my favorite Fallout game, apart from the first couple of ones, which were vastly different from the first-person shooters that we get now since Fallout 3. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas was probably my favorite of the newer Fallout games since 3 onwards, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking out The Outer Worlds. It seems to be a very similar type of gameplay style, but just in a completely different universe, not related at all to the Fallout world as far as I know. And now we have got the system requirements for this game, which are fairly modest. Nothing here really stands out as being egregious. Install size and everything like that seems pretty good, and it seems like it's probably going to run on a wide variety of hardware from the budget all the way to the high end, which is all good to see. Hopefully it's got a little bit better polish than some of the Fallout games when they come out, which have notoriously been really, really buggy at launch. That's that Bethesda quote-unquote, air quote, polish that they have, which is just basically non-existent, unfortunately. So first up, we'll take a look at the minimum requirements. They are saying that you should have at least Windows 7 64-bit, an Intel i3 3225, or an AMD Phenom 2 X6 1100T. So pretty dated hardware for the minimum requirements, and only 4 gigabytes of system memory. On the GPU side, they are suggesting a GTX 650 Ti for NVIDIA or an AMD HD 7850, and only 40 gigabytes of hard drive space, which is pretty moderate in today's landscape, where Red Dead Redemption 2 needs 150 gigs, Modern Warfare needs 175, so 40 gigabytes in today's day and age is a fairly modest amount of storage space required for it, especially for an open world game like The Outer Worlds. As far as the recommended requirements go, which usually target 1080p 60 frames per second at high settings in most games, they are saying that you should have Windows 10 64-bit along with an i7 7700K or a Ryzen 5 1600. So definitely a pretty big jump up from the minimum requirements. I don't really know what they're targeting with minimum, probably like 720p 30 frames per second with that low end of hardware if you're needing a 7700 and a 1600 for 1080p high, which are still, you know, like it's not like an insane level of hardware. Most people are running, I feel, something equivalent to this if they built a PC in the past few years. They also say 8 gigabytes of system memory, so nothing like the 32 gigabytes they had initially said for Jedi Fallen Order. And then for the GPU, a GTX 1060 6GB card from NVIDIA or a Radeon RX 470, and again, 40 gigabytes of hard drive space. So, like I said, pretty modest requirements. GTX 1060 and an RX 470 for 1080p is very reasonable, and I think most people are probably going to be able to run this game pretty well unless it comes out and has just absolutely butchered the performance or the optimization in some way whatsoever. And of course, when that comes out, we'll test that game as well, which is coming out on October 25th, the same day as Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments below what you want to see me prioritize as far as covering game performance is concerned. Are you more interested in seeing Modern Warfare performance covered, which I've already shown a little bit on the channel, that game running during the beta, which ran very, very well. And then also The Outer Worlds. Which one do you want to see prioritized in terms of PC performance testing? But that's all I've got for you guys today in the world of PC gaming. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and enjoy the rest of my day and my weekend coming up. I hope you guys all have a great weekend as well. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video down below. Subscribe if you're not already, and if you've been here for a while, or if you just like my amazing shave and haircut, then ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment of content when it goes up live on the channel. And I will see you guys maybe over the weekends for another video. Ta-ra.